The champagne flutes rang out with a brittle chime of hollow celebration. Wahmambo stood in the corner of the gallery, like a man already gone. White walls, white light, the air thick with perfume and pretense. Patrons in tailored suits drifted between canvases the way
It really is.
moths drift toward flame.
I love this one.
Not the
Drawn,
fire,
oblivious, already burning. His paintings,
masterful, bold, a triumph of form. Words like glass, heavy and cold. I nod, I pour, I sign the edge while the city beats against my ribs like a drum with no pulse.
a woman in crimson halted before Urban Echoes number 17. Her head tilted,
The tension here,
head calculated.
the way he contains
Rehearsed
such
angle
raw
of
energy
appraisal.
in geometric form.
Her companion murmured something about tension, about
The use of
form.
color is quite striking, isn't it?
Yes, the interplay of warm and cool tones is masterful.
Wahmambo's fingers curled at his sides. The canvas was pigment and linen. The words were glass. Nothing in the room touched anything real.
You can hang a hue, but you can't buy the silence, and you can't sell the truth, and you can price the line. You can hang a hue, but you can't buy the silence, and you can't sell the truth. My hands smell of linseed and dust. My lungs taste the polish and rust. The gallery breathes, but it doesn't bleed for me. It breathes for the legend, for the opening night, for the quiet exchange of a soul for a price tag. I step back.
The gallery owner materialized at his elbow, hand heavy on his shoulder. Magnificent turnout.
Magnificent turnout. The
Wahmambo.
Herald Critic is here. National Gallery Curator, later tonight. And Moyo Munyuki himself. Yes, quite a crowd.
He moved through the room, compliments hit him like rain on glass, bright, sliding, leaving nothing behind. Revolutionary palette, raw energy contained in geometric precision. You've captured the city's soul. He hadn't captured anything. He'd arranged pigments into patterns that flattered the eye. His own chest remained a locked room, unfed, untouched. The canvases on the walls felt like relics from a life another man had bled into. He slipped onto the balcony. 12 stories down. Harare thrummed, headlights bleeding along avenues. Neon stuttering. A siren threading through the dark, like a wound that wouldn't close. From this height, the city was a circuit board of copper and wire. Functional cold. A machine that didn't know it was alive. Near the entrance, a young woman in a dark dress stood apart. She held a champagne flute she hadn't touched. Their eyes met and held for one beat longer than it should have. She offered a smile, small, unrehearsed. The kind you give when you've recognized something in someone you can't name. Then she turned back to the room. faint metallic taste of Herrera's bones. He breathed it in and felt nothing but the hollow widening behind his ribs, as though something inside him was being slowly, carefully removed. Later, in his apartment, all sharp angles and showroom silence, Wahmambo poured whiskey and stood before the only painting he'd never sold. A forest trees bent sideways by a storm he'd painted from memory, leaves rendered with a fury that bordered on devotion. He'd made it a decade ago, when the city still whispered of possibility instead of grinding it into dust. He drank the burn was the only honest thing he'd felt all night. Sleep, when it came, was not rest, it was invasion. It started with temperature, cold pressing against his skin like palms, then scent, damp earth, crushed pine, something green and feral that had no name in any language he spoke. In the mist, it rose from the ground in slow, deliberate spirals, coiling around trunks so vast 3 men linking arms couldn't have circled them. Wahmambo stood in a forest that existed on no map, in no memory, in no dream he'd ever had before. The next day, the city pressed against him like a fist. Where before the noise had been background, a hum, a drone, now it was physical breaks, shrieked metal ground on metal. Jackhammer split the air in staccato bursts. He flinched at a horn, ducked down a side street where the sound thinned to a murmur. Then he saw it. A musasa tree, massive, ancient, wedged between concrete and brick like a thing refusing to die. Roots had buckled the pavement into ridges. Branches reached for a sliver of sky, with the desperate patience of a hand stretching from water. Wahmambo dropped his bag, tore open his sketchbook. Charcoal. Hit paper before his hand had decided to move. Fast, rough, almost violent. He traced the wall between bark and brick, the slow violence of roots, the way the branches bent not from wind but from will. People passed. He didn't look up. The line felt true. The line felt like a door opening. That night the dream returned, but deeper. The mist was thicker, the mountains closer, and the trees, God, the trees, held a stillness that wasn't absence. It was attention, deliberate, patient, the way a predator holds still when it knows you've seen it. Something watched from the canopy, not eyes, not yet, a presence. Vast, ancient, coiled in the space between branches, like something that had been waiting a very long time and had finally decided to stop being patient. Wahmambo felt himself pulled forward, not by force, by gravity. As though the forest had mass, had weight, had a center, and he was falling toward it. Fear and longing hit him at the same instant, indistinguishable, tearing through him like the same blade from both directions. He woke, trembling, skin iced, the scent of pine so thick. He checked the window again, sealed, locked, no breeze, and still the smell clung to him, like it had grown from him. 4:17 a.m. He sat in the dark and understood, not with his mind, but with something deeper, something the dream had woken, that he had to go. The gallery, the career, the apartment with its clean lines and dead silence. It was all scaffolding temporary, built around something that had been waiting for him to stop pretending. He didn't pack much. A bag, sketchbooks, charcoal, pencils. A traveling watercolor set he hadn't opened in years. Everything else felt like skin he was shedding, layers of a life that had never quite fit. The bus station at that hour was a purgatory of the transient students slumped on benches. Early shift workers blinked in the fluorescent wash. Travelers sat with the same hollow look. People between places, between lives, between who they were and who they were becoming. Wahmambo bought a one-way ticket, Eastern Highlands, Inyangani. The bus pulled out of the terminal like something escaping. Bright lights gave way to darker streets. The art district thinned, the high-rises fell behind. Then the collector zones, the gated compounds, the manicured lawns, all of it sliding past the window like a life being fast-forwarded to its end. Then the true dark. Between towns there was no light at all, just road and bush and the occasional flicker of a distant fire. As the urban density peeled away, the static in his head quieted. Not peace, something raw possibility. The unformed, electric ache of not knowing what comes next. The way a held breath feels before you decide to exhale. He slept fitfully, forehead pressed to cold glass, when the driver's voice, rough, indifferent, just a name on a route. Wahmambo stood and stepped out into a darkness so complete it had texture. It pressed against his skin. It filled his mouth. The bus door hissed shut. Red taillights bled around a bend and vanished. He stood motionless. Let the silence recalibrate him. Not empty, not peaceful, but full of something listening. He fumbled for his flashlight, clicked it on the beam, cut a narrow wound through the gloom. Red dirt, dense vegetation, the suggestion of a path that wasn't quite a path. Then he clicked it off, let his eyes adjust. Let the dark in. And the dark, it wasn't empty. It held shape to the left. The brush had parted, not broken, not trampled, just open. A gap in the vegetation, narrow and deliberate, like a mouth that had been waiting to speak. Like something had made room for him. The air shifted, cooler, wetter. The faintest trace of pine and turned earth. The same scent from the dream, rising from the ground as though the forest had followed him here. As though it had been here all along, just off the road. Just past the edge of the light, waiting. Wahmambo stepped toward it. The gap swallowed him whole.